there?
Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king.
Bernardo?
He.
You come most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief much thanks. It is bitter cold, and I am sick at heart.
Quiet guard.
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make good haste.
I think I hear them. Stanco! Who's there?
Friends to this ground,
and liegemen to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Oh, farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Bernardo has my place. Give you good night.
Holla, Bernardo.
What, is Horatio there?
a piece of him.
Oh, welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What, has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight seen twice by us. Therefore, I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, tush, 'twill not appear.
What? Sit down a while and let us once again assail our ears, that are so fortified against our story, what we have two-night seen.
Well, sit us down, and let us hear Bernardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven where it now burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one,
Peace! Break thee off! Look where it comes!
in the same figure like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
Looks he not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like, it harrows me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Speak to it, Horatio.
What art thou that usurps this time of night, together in that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee speak.
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Stay, speak, I charge thee speak.
'Tis gone and will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on't?
By my God, I would not have believed this unless I had seen it with my own sensible eyes.
'Tis not like the king.
As thou art thyself. Such was the very armor he had on when he the ambitious Norway combated. So frowned he once, when, in an angry parle, he smote the sledded poleaxe on the ice. 'Tis strange.
Thus twice before, and jump at this dead hour, with martial stalk hath he gone by our watch.
In what particular thought to work, I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Good now. Sit down and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, and why such daily casts of brazen cannon and foreign mart for implements of war, why such impressive shipwrights, whose sore task does not divide the Sunday from the week, what might be toward that this sweaty haste doth make the night joint labor with the day. Who is that can inform me?
That can I. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even but now appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway, thereto pricked on by a most emulate pride, dared to combat, in which our valiant Hamlet, for so this side of our known world esteems him, did slay this Fortinbras, who by a sealed compact, well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit with his life all those his lands, which he stood seized of to the conqueror, against the which a moiety compliment was gauged by our king, which had returned to the inheritance of Fortinbras had he been the vanquisher, as by the same covenant and carriage of the article designed, his fell to Hamlet. Now, sir, young Fortinbras of unimproved mettle, hot and wild, hath in the skirts of Norway, here and there, sharked up a bit of lawless resolutes, for food and diet, to some enterprise that hath a stomach in't, which is no other, as it doth well appear unto our state, but to recover of us, by strong hand and terms compulsatory, those foresaid lands, so by his father lost. And this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations. The source of this is our watch, and the chief head of the post-haste and rummage in the land.
I think it be no other but and so. Well may it sort that this portentous figure comes armed through our watch, so like the king that was and is the question of these wars.
A mote it is to trouble the mind's eye, and in the most high and palmy state of Rome, a little ere the mightiest Julius Caesar fell, the graves stood tenantless, and the sheeted dead did squeak and gibber in the Roman streets, as stars with trains of fire and dews of blood, disasters in the sun, and the moist star upon whose influence Neptune's empire stands, was sick almost to doomsday with eclipse, and even the like precurse of fierce events, as harbingers preceding still the fates, and prologue to the omen coming on, have heaven and earth together demonstrated unto our climatures and countrymen. But soft, behold, lo, where it comes again! I'll cross it, though it blast me. Stay, illusion, if thou hast any sound, or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done, that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which, happily, foreknowing may avoid, O speak. Or if thou hast upborn in thy life exorted treasure in the womb of earth, for which, they say, you spirits oft walking death.
Cock-a-doodle-doo!
Speak of it. Stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus.
Shall I strike it with my partisan?
Do, if it will not stand. And run.
'Tis here.
'Tis here!
'Tis gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical, to offer it the show of violence, for it is, as the air, invulnerable, and our vain blows malicious mockery.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard the cock, that is the trumpet to the morn, doth with his lofty and shrill-sounding throat awake the god of day. And, at his warning, whether in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to his confine. And of the truth herein this present object made probation.
It faded on the crowing of the cock. Some